Hey, this is a special edition of the Jim Acosta Show. It's a special Michael Monday on a Thursday. And there's Michael Cohen right there. Michael, the reason why we're doing this now randomly on a Thursday morning, while we're all watching the markets do their thing right now, is because you and I have a special announcement to make. And that is we are doing this live town hall in New York on Tuesday at 6 p.m. At the Theater 555. We worked it all out. And I'm excited about this. We're going to put out a post in just a little while that's going to explain how people can get tickets. And this is going to be a lot of fun.
So you may remember that Jim and I were, I don't know, throwing out a couple of ideas when we were doing a Michael Monday show.
Yep.
And I said, hey, a friend of mine owns this off-Broadway theater. And how great would it be if you and I had an opportunity within which to speak with the people of New York and then take this on the road. I don't want people to think for a second that this is a one-off. This is not.
No.
This is the beginning. In fact, I've come up with a couple of names that I haven't even shared yet with Jim. Now, that doesn't mean that's what we're going to call this, but they're just some ideas. And I'll tell you what, I would love, as would Jim, DM us, let us know which one or what name of the tour that you think we have, because that's what we need.
Right? We got to come up with a name. That's true.
So
I mean, for right now, it's
like,
just,
So let me give you a couple here.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
America Unfiltered Tour.
I like it.
Okay.
America Unleashed could be something like that.
It's another one. How about Justice Rising Tour?
Ooh, I like that. Justice Rising.
How about Local Voices Tour?
I like that
too. Because we are going to start
Sure.
going into the heartland of America.
Yeah.
The No Spin Tour.
I like that. How about No Bullshit Tour?
We could do that too. Real Talk Tour.
I like that too.
Here's the one that I like the best. I always save the best for last. The No Fear Tour.
Ooh, that's good. Those are all good. And somebody just put in a comment there or asked a question, why are you guys on right now? In case you're just tuning in live right now, this is a special edition of Michael Monday, Jim Acosta Show. This is Michael and I are announcing we are doing a live town hall at the Theater 555 in New York City next Tuesday in New York, New York. The city's so nice, they named it twice. 6 p.m., April 15th, tax day. Hopefully everybody's paid their taxes. There might be one person out there who lives at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Maybe he didn't pay his taxes, but Michael, since we're talking right now, and I know you have to run soon to go do a podcast, what the hell is going on with the markets? And what about this bullshit where the White House put out and said, oh, this is the art of the deal?
Well, and the best is you start to listen to the sycophants, the enablers that are sitting around him that are like, Donald's the greatest negotiator. Just look at the book, The Art of the Deal. And while he's doing all of this, the market now is down about 1,100 points.
Incredible.
So it's doing a retreat. Yep. And they say that this is what he needed to do in order to get all of the world leaders to the table to negotiate so that we can have free and fair trade balance. In fact, in my Substack of this morning, I turn around and I write, there can never be equal reciprocal tariffs.
That's right.
Not when you're dealing with the United States. Let me give you the one example that I used in my Substack.
Yeah.
Take Vietnam as an example, a poor country. What's Vietnam really known for? Manufacturing. Why?
That's right.
Because it's cheap. Think about your Nike sneakers. Anyone who has a pair, I don't care if it's old, it's new, I don't care if they're foam posits or that they're not. Take a look at the label, made in Vietnam. Because Nike buys, it costs them to manufacture a pair of Nike sneakers.
We've been doing this for years.
About $3. $3, Jim. They sell it here for $100.
No, Michael,
what is Vietnam? Jim, my point is, what is Vietnam going to buy from America, this poor country? F-16 fighter planes,
guns,
defensive technology. What are they buying from the United States that we could ever have an equal reciprocal tariff? And the answer is you can't.
That's exactly right. Well, and the United States has been using Asia as essentially a manufacturing hub for the last generation or so. I mean, this has been going
More
on for
than
20
that.
years, and Donald Trump has done this himself. I was just looking at the other day when Donald Trump was on with David Letterman back in 2012, and Letterman busted him for having his ties made in China and some of his clothing made in Bangladesh. This is what businesses have been doing for years, including Donald Trump. And the other thing that I'm going to be talking about this later today on my show, Michael. I've got Paul Krugman on. I'm a little worried that there's some kind of pump and dump thing going on here. I mean, Adam
This,
Schiff wants to investigate this. Trump puts out this Truth Social at 9 a.m. yesterday, says now's a good time to buy, and then he lifts the tariffs. This
yeah.
is insanity.
It's incredible because many of those that are still that are part of the cabinet, right?
Yeah,
Scott Bessent's, the Howard Lutnick's, they still have interests in trading platforms. And
yeah,
like for example, Lutnick is he's long.
yeah,
They do a lot of long bonds. This is if in fact that's true, which I don't think that it is. I don't think Trump is magnanimous enough to do this for his cabinet, for his
yeah,
alleged friends. Trump has no friends. What he was
yeah,
doing was he was bragging, or let me give you another one. Maybe he was even doing his job and he was explaining what they were intending to do
yeah. I
with
don't
his
know.
cabinet members, and they went ahead and they used that information, which, by the way, is insider trading,
Yeah.
and it is also illegal.
I mean, to me, Adam Schiff has already said he's going to investigate this, and there should be an investigation. How the president of the United States can single-handedly have this much influence over the markets, tank the markets, put out a post that says, now's a good time to buy, and then lifts the tariffs temporarily. That to me, that doesn't smell good. So
It doesn't
something,
smell good at all.
it, it's it,
It smells like horse shit, right, in
yeah,
Central Park. I mean,
yeah.
during a
Before a good
105 degree,
rain, yeah.
you know,
I know that
105-degree
smell.
temperature. I
Yeah,
mean, this is really
yeah,
wrong. It's
yeah,
an abuse of office to the
yeah.
nth degree. You fuck up the entire global economy
That's right.
for what? And then you want to brag to people knowing that you're going to
That's
do a
crazy.
90-day reprieve. The
It's
one
totally nuts.
question that I wish that I was permitted to ask if I was there at these briefing rooms, somebody explained to me, where was the strategy to create the chaos, to have everybody go out and say there will be no reprieve off of these tariffs? They are
Yeah.
set in stone. Donald Trump does not go back and forth,
Yeah,
only to tank the market by
exactly.
$7 to $8 trillion to then turn around and then to do a 90-day review. Why not have just done it at the
Yeah.
very beginning?
It,
Why
it,
not just say in 90 days, unless you come to the negotiating table and we get what I consider to be a fair and balanced trade deal, then I'm
yeah.
going to impose the tariffs. Instead of coming in with a sledgehammer to a
Yeah.
mirror glass, right? To a mirror, when all
Well,
you needed to do is take the mirror off the wall.
we're asking, for, a rational explanation of something that is completely irrational or something that is completely crooked. And we need to find out one way or the other. And that is why you need I'm sorry, you need Democratic power in one of the houses of Congress, so they have the power of the subpoena, the power of the gavel to investigate this kind of stuff. And I have to wonder whether the Republicans have the guts to look into this because
No
you
way.
can't have this kind of, and of course, I know the answer to that. They don't have the guts to do this. I mean, the other thing that pisses me off is the way they came out. Caroline Leavitt came out into the driveway of the White House and said, "This is the art of the deal." Give me a break.
You
Give me a
know,
break.
the greatest is I listen sometimes to my buddy Ben Meiselas when we do our
Oh yeah, he's
political
a
beatdown
great
podcast,
guy.
and he constantly calls this weapon of mass distraction.
Yeah,
So during all of this tariff chaos, this tumult,
yeah.
all of a sudden they're signing executive orders. One of the executive orders was water pressure. Water
Yeah.
pressure in shower heads.
He talks about this all the time.
Water pressure in shower heads. And
Yeah.
then you have the Secretary of Transportation, Duffy, coming out and going on Newsmax, of course, because nobody else would listen
Yeah.
to this stupidity,
Yeah.
talking about how your toilet doesn't clean itself because
Yeah.
there's no pressure in your toilet. When you
Yeah.
turn the sink on, you have to wash your hands for 5 minutes because it's a drip, drip, drip. Or you can't get the shampoo out of your hair because there's no pressure.
I got
I
great
don't
water
know.
pressure. I don't know. This whole thing, I've talked about
Who
this
are
with a
they
lot of people.
talking to?
You go to the hardware store, you get a better shower head, folks. I mean, that's just, I don't know what Donald Trump is doing. If he can get, Stephen Miller to go over to the Home Depot, or Jason Miller to go over to Lowe's and pick up a different shower head, I think he'd be just fine. I don't understand. The other thing that really ticks me off right now, and you're talking about distractions, they did this yesterday when they were so embarrassed by Trump caving on the tariffs. He put out these executive orders targeting Miles Taylor and targeting Chris Krebs, who was the former head of the cybersecurity
Cybersecurity.
office over at the DHS. He was the one that said that it was a free and fair and honest election back in 2020, which pissed Trump off to no end. And Miles Taylor wrote the anonymous book, A Warning. And Trump put out executive orders launching investigations into those two men. And I put a post on Twitter that said, and I don't post there often because Elon Musk has turned it into a sewer, but I did post that that is un-American. It is un-American to launch investigations of U.S. citizens for their opinions. And somebody needs to go down there. Somebody in the Republican Party needs to go down there and get a hold of this guy because he is completely out of control. The
Well, let me
president of the
say,
United States is
I'm glad you brought.
completely out of control.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up
Yeah.
because yesterday was the 7-year anniversary of the raid on my home, hotel, and law office. 7 years.
Wow.
I want to also bring up the fact that I've warned America that this is
Yeah.
going to happen.
You did?
And I've said, if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. I
You're right.
took my case. I wrote about it in my whole book, Revenge, the New York
I know.
Times bestseller. That one was number 8. Disloyal was actually number 1. But
Yeah.
Revenge talks about the whole thing. They weaponized Bill Barr, weaponized the Department of Justice against Trump's critics. And why? Why did they do this against me? Because I refused to waive my First Amendment constitutional right, and I published the book Disloyal. Well,
Yeah.
I hate to say it to Chris Krebs, and I hate to say it to Miles Taylor, who I know very well and I like.
Both good guys. Yeah.
They're both fucked. Because when the full weight of the government comes down on you, I don't care who you are. I don't care if
Yeah.
you're Elon Musk. When Trump with his DOJ, with Pam Bondi, with Kash Patel and others,
Yeah.
when they want to bring the full force of government into your doorstep, into
Yeah.
your home, your
Yeah.
hotel, your law office,
Yeah.
wherever the hell you're at, there is nothing that you can do. You basically surrender, as I did. You accept whatever it is that they want you to plead to, and then you hope
Yeah.
that you don't get 100 years or a firing squad under this administration. There is nothing that they're going to be able to do to
Yeah.
stop this.
Well,
That's the scary part.
you're right, Michael. And this is why this town hall that we're going to do on Tuesday is so important
I was going to
because
say the same thing.
the,
No
our
fear
democ
tour.
our I like No Fear Tour. I do like it because our country is on the line, our democracy is on the line. The president of the United States, let's face it, folks, he is totally out of control. Within the first 100 days in office, some of us predicted this. Michael predicted it. I predicted it. He would come back into office more radical than he's ever been before. He would be unleashed, and he is doing exactly what some of us predicted. And for him to go after Miles and go after Chris Krebs and that,
They're just the next group.
they're just the next
I
group.
may
You're
have been
right.
the
That's right.
litmus test. I may have been the litmus test. But
Yeah.
they are just the next evolution
Yeah.
of the damage that's going to be taking place. In fact, I have right over here, hold on one quick second. I
Yeah.
actually have right over here the decision by Judge Alvin K. Hellerstein, okay,
Yep.
federal court judge Alvin K. Hellerstein, who responded when I was unconstitutionally remanded, saying the court finds that respondents, and in this case, respondents of Bill Barr and the entire group, now just sub him out for Pam Bondi, purpose in transferring Cohen from release on furlough and home confinement back to custody was retaliatory in response to Cohen desiring to exercise his First Amendment rights to publish a book critical of the president and to discuss the book on social media. Let
Yeah.
me be very clear. That habeas decision is not going to benefit anybody any longer because
Yeah.
of the Dobbs decision, which basically overturned Bivens, which now you have, it's going to be a nightmare. Let me be
Yes.
clear. And I warned America, as you did,
Yeah.
right? In many of our interviews together over the years,
Yeah.
we warned America that
Yeah.
this is going to happen, and that's what we're going to be talking about.
That's what
We're
we're
going
going
to
to
be
talk
going
about.
to all the
Yeah.
states. We're going to go to ruby red districts. We're going to go to blue districts. We're going to go to everybody because
Well,
even people who are Democrats are concerned. They're
yeah.
concerned about our Democratic Party. What the fuck are they doing? How are they
Yeah.
fighting back? I don't want to hear Adam Schiff stand there and turn and say, "Well, we're going to open up an investigation." So no, you're
Yeah.
not, because
Yeah.
the chair of the chair of that committee, he's not going to sign off on it.
I hear you. I know. I know. And that is why it's vitally important that you and I do this. We get on the road. We're going to have folks like Michael Fanone get involved. We have other great folks getting involved. And I know, Michael, you've been working on some guests. I've been working on some
Congress
guests.
members, legislators,
Yeah.
lawyers,
Yeah.
constitutional lawyers,
Yeah.
Michael
We're going to have
Fanone,
some.
Harry Dunns of the world.
Yeah.
It's going to be incredible. Each and every tour is
Yeah.
going to be unique, and it's going to be very eye-opening. Let me put it
Yeah.
to you that way, because you have to have no fear right now. If you
That's
have
right.
fear, like many of these law firms that are capitulating, or these
Yeah.
news outlets, that's why I'm so thankful to Jim, and I'm thankful to our teams
Yes.
who are able to get Substack, involved in this as well.
Yep.
It just goes to show you how important this app is, and the importance of people like Jim and the Jim Acosta Show and myself. So please,
Yeah.
to my subscribers, make sure you subscribe to Jim Acosta, and to
And vice
Jim's, make
versa.
sure
Vice
make sure
versa.
you subscribe to mine too, because
That's right.
together we
Yeah.
become an unstoppable community. And
That's right.
if this stuff doesn't stop, we're all in really, really serious trouble.
Yeah. Well, and I've been talking about this all along, the Great American Pushback. That's what this is all about. We're pushing back on the lies. We're pushing back on the bullshit. We're pushing back on any kind of effort to destroy this democracy, this country that we all hold dear and love so much. Michael, I know you have to go do your podcast. I'm going to let
Yep.
you go. But rest assured, everybody, we're going to get the details out. We're going to tell you how you can get tickets in New York next Tuesday evening. If you're in New York, we'd love to see you come by. Paid subscribers are going to get the chance to get at those tickets first than other folks. And don't worry if you miss this event, we're going to do some other events. It's all happening organically. We're kind of workshopping this as we go, but we're making it happen. We're making it. Thanks,
Right.
Michael.
We're kind of doing it the way Trump is doing the tariff strategy, on the fly.
On the fly. But we're not tanking the economy in the process.
No, we're saving it. Jim,
Exactly.
thank you. And
Good to
thank you
see you,
to all
buddy.
our subscribers.
All right.
Appreciate you.
And I'll see everybody later today at 4 o'clock for the Jim Acosta Show.
Yes,
Have a
it
great
will be
one.
streamed. By the way, yes, 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 yes.
Oh, yeah.
It'll
We
be
will be
streamed.
streaming. Yeah.
It will
Go
be
ahead.
streamed on Substack,
Yeah.
and probably many outlets as well. So stay tuned. This is just the very first announcement.
Exactly.
Many more to come.
Details to come. Stay tuned. Okay.
Thank you.
See you soon, Michael. Okay, bye.
Bye, Jim.
Bye-bye. Okay, everybody. So that's just the latest on this. It's happening. Michael and I have been talking about this for how many weeks now? We've got a theater. We've got a date. We're working on guests. I've got Michael. Michael's going to bring it like you've never seen it before. And so stay tuned. We're working on all of this. I don't have a cast of thousands here behind the scenes. I've got my special producer, Matt, on the case, lots of others on the case, the great people at Substack on the case. So stay tuned. It's all details coming soon. In the meantime, I'll see you at 4 o'clock Eastern right here on Substack. My guest, Paul Krugman, the great economist, formerly of the New York Times, now on Substack, completely a national treasure. I can't wait to talk to him. Jessica Yellen, my old colleague at the place I used to work. And also going to be talking to the authors of the new book, Fight, Jonathan Allen and Amy Parnes. They've come out with a great campaign book. They're also on later today, so stay tuned for that. And somebody just said Mary Trump. That's a great idea. Okay, I'm going to ask her. I don't know. I can't make any promises. We're working on guests, but in the meantime, I'll see you guys later today at 4 o'clock. Have a great day. Bye.